I want to tell you about the Monday I came back from maternity leave and found someone else sitting at my desk. Not temporarily. Not filling in. Sitting at my desk with my nameplate replaced, my files reorganized, my clients reassigned, and a new business card holder with his name on it. Derek. Derek was sitting at my desk. I want to back up. I have worked at this company for 6 years. I am a senior account manager. I managed a portfolio of 11 clients. 3 of those clients I had brought in myself. One of them I had spent 8 months cultivating before they signed. 8 months of calls and lunches and proposals and follow-ups and one very long dinner where I stayed until 10 p.m. because the client needed to feel heard and I was the person doing the hearing. 8 months. They signed because of me. I went on maternity leave 14 weeks ago. Standard leave. 12 weeks paid, 2 weeks unpaid. I had prepared everything before I left. Transition documents for each client. Status updates. Preferred communication styles. Notes on sensitivities. I had spent 2 weeks before my leave making sure whoever covered my accounts had everything they needed to keep my clients happy until I came back. I had been told, explicitly, by my manager, that my position would be waiting for me. Those were the words. Your position will be waiting for you. My position was not waiting for me. Derek was in my position. Derek was in my chair. I found my manager before I had taken my coat off. She said, "Lauren, welcome back. How are you feeling? How is the baby?" I told her there was someone at my desk. She said yes, Derek had been covering your accounts. I told her Derek appeared to have moved in permanently. She said we should find a conference room. We found a conference room. She closed the door. She said the situation had evolved while I was away. I asked her what that meant. She said Derek had done exceptionally well with my clients. I said I was glad to hear it. I also said I was back now and I would like my accounts returned. She said it was more complicated than that. I asked her how it was more complicated than that. She said 3 of my clients had specifically requested to stay with Derek. I asked her which 3. She told me, 2 of them were clients I had inherited when I joined the company. One of them was the client I had spent 8 months cultivating. The one I had stayed until 10 p.m. for. The one who had signed because of me. I want to tell you how that felt. I am going to try to be precise about it. It felt like something had been taken out of a drawer I had locked and given to someone else while I was not there to say no. It felt like the 14 weeks I had spent not sleeping and learning how to keep a human being alive had cost me something professional that I had not agreed to pay. It felt like the word evolve was doing a lot of work in a sentence that really meant we gave your things away and we are not sure we are going to give them back. My manager said the company wanted to find a role for me. I asked her what role. She said they were thinking about a restructured position. I asked her what restructured meant. She said it might involve a different client portfolio. I asked her what different meant specifically. She said smaller to start. I asked her why smaller to start when I had been a senior account manager for 4 years with a full portfolio and a track record she knew because she had written my last 3 performance reviews. She said the clients had relationships with Derek now. I told her the clients had relationships with me first. She said things had changed. I told her things had changed because the company had allowed them to change while I was on legally protected leave. She was quiet. She said she understood I was frustrated. I told her frustrated was a small word for what I was. I called HR that afternoon. I want to be clear that I called HR calmly and professionally. I stated facts in order. I said I had been on maternity leave for 14 weeks. I said I had been told my position would be waiting for me. I said I had returned to find my desk occupied, my title informally reassigned, and 3 of my clients told they were staying with my replacement. I said I would like to understand what the company's plan was for restoring my position. Our said they would look into it. I said I would appreciate that. I also said I had already spoken to an employment attorney that morning just to understand my options. I had not spoken to an employment attorney that morning. I made that appointment for the following day. But I said it because I wanted HR to understand that I understood what maternity leave discrimination looked like, and I was not going to sit quietly while someone restructured my career into something smaller because I had taken 14 weeks to have a baby. The HR meeting happened 3 days later. My manager was there. Her manager was there. Our was there. I was there with a notepad and every email I had ever received about my position, my leave and my return. The meeting lasted 2 hours. I will not tell you everything that was said. What I will tell you is that by the end of it my title had been formally confirmed, my desk had been returned, and the company had agreed to a transition plan for reintegrating my client portfolio over 60 days. Not all 3 clients immediately. 2 of the 3 immediately. The third, the one I had spent 8 months on, would be transitioned back over 30 days with a formal handover process. Derek would move to a different desk. Derek would be assigned a different portfolio. Derek, my manager told me, had not known the full extent of what had happened. Derek had just been doing his job. I believe that. I also believe that doing your job and benefiting from a system that took someone else's job while she was on maternity leave are 2 things that can both be true at the same time. I came back to my desk on a Thursday. My nameplate was back. My chair was the same chair. My files had been reorganized in a way I did not prefer, and I spent 40 minutes putting them back the way I liked them. My plants were dead. I had left 2 plants on my desk when I went on leave. They were both dead. I threw them away and bought new ones on my lunch break. My husband said I handled it perfectly. My mother says I should have been angrier. My best friend says the plants are a metaphor and I should think about that. I am thinking about it. What I keep coming back to is the phrase smaller to start. Smaller to start. As if the appropriate response to someone returning from maternity leave was to hand her something reduced and ask her to rebuild. As if 14 weeks of legally protected leave was a debt that needed to be paid back in career capital. As if the version of me that came back was somehow less than the version that left. I am not less. I came back. I have my desk. I have my clients. I have 2 new plants. I have a notepad full of notes from a 2-hour meeting that I hope I never need to use. Was I wrong to go straight to HR? Or did coming back from maternity leave to find someone else in my chair answer that question before I even sat down? Down finger, drop your verdict in the comments, NTA or YTA. Bell, subscribe to The Verdict for new stories every week. Because every story deserves a verdict.